my channel. So we're going to have a look at Love Me Tender, the film, and we're going to look at some pictures from the film Love Me Tender and associated pictures with the film Love Me Tender. So, it was made in 1956. It's an American musical western directed by Robert D. Webb and released by 20th Century Fox on November 15th, 1956. The name of the film was named after the song, Love Me Tender, and it stars Richard Egan, Deborah Paget, and Elvis Presley in his acting debut. As Presley's movie debut, it was the only time in his acting career that he did not receive top billing. The budget was $1.2 million and the box office made $4.5 million. And Love Me Tender was originally going to be titled The Reno Brothers, but then advance sales of Presley's Love Me Tender single passed 1 million, a first for any single. The film's title was then changed to match. Upon filming, Elvis arrived for filming with all of his lines learned, as well as all the lines for all the other parts. He found filming quite tasking, once commenting to a friend that he spent a whole day behind a team of mules. In little more than a month, Presley had recorded all the songs for the film and had finished filming his scenes. Filming of the movie's climactic sequence included the death scene for Elvis's character, which took place at the Bell Moving Picture Ranch in the Santa Susana Mountains, west of the San Fernando Valley, on the outskirts of Los Angeles. When Elvis appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show during a break in filming the movie on September 9th, he performed Love Me Tender for the first time. 2 weeks later, RCA confirmed that advance sales of the single had resulted in it going gold, even before being released, an industry first. It sold 1 million pre-ordered copies and ultimately ended up selling 2 million copies. Test screenings of the film resulted in people being upset at the death of Elvis's character. Attempting to reach a compromise between the death and the pleasing of his fans, Elvis filmed an extra scene and recorded an extra verse to the title track to be played over the end credits. I think you can totally agree that it's perfect. Love Me Tender premiered on November 15th, 1956 at the Paramount Theatre in New York City and was released nationally on November 21st. Though studios typically released were only 200 to 300 prints, 20th Century Fox released a record-breaking 575 prints. On November 20th, Elvis attended a private screening at Lowe's State Theatre in Memphis, during which his mother, Gladys, cried over the death of her son's character. Elvis responded by insisting that his characters never die on screen again. The film claiming the number 2 at the box office and earning back the money it cost the studio to produce it. James Dean's release of Giant held the number 1 spot. Within weeks it had recouped the costs of negatives, and despite being released in November, was the 23rd highest grossing film of the year. The film was released on videocassette by Key Video in February 1985 as part of the release of 11 videos to mark the 50th anniversary of Elvis's birth. In the summer of 2006, the film was released on DVD in the special 50th anniversary issue. It was featured in a slipcase and included a set of 4 lobby card reproductions. The disc contains the movie in its original widescreen letterbox format, plus audio commentary by noted Elvis historian and Memphis Mafia member Jerry Schilling. The disc includes 3 featurettes: Elvis Hits Hollywood, The Colonel and the King, and Love Me Tender, the birth and boom of the Elvis hit. Also part of the disc are original trailers for Love Me Tender, Flaming Star, and Wild in the Country. Love Me Tender. Elvis plays Clint Reno, the youngest of the 4 Reno brothers, who stays home to take care of his mother and the family farm as older brothers Vance, Brett, and Ray fight in the American Civil War for the Confederate Army. No explanation is given why a healthy young man was exempt from military service. The family is mistakenly informed that the eldest brother Vance was killed on the battlefield. After 4 years of war, the brothers return home and find that Vance's former girlfriend Kathy has married Clint. Although Vance accepts this wholeheartedly, the family has to struggle to reach stability with this issue. The subplot of unresolved passion carries the film. It is made clear from the outset, upon the Reno brothers' return home, that Kathy still loves Vance, although she is true to the younger Clint. Honour prevails for Vance, but jealousy leads Clint into irrational rivalry for Kathy's love. In the film's opening scenes, the Reno brothers, serving as Confederate cavalrymen, attack a Union train carrying a federal payroll of $12,000, not knowing that the war had ended only a day before. The Confederates come to the decision to keep the money as spoils of war, an issue that will come back into the plot after the Reno brothers return home. A conflict of interest ensues when Vance tries to return the money against the wishes of some of his fellow Confederates, all of whom are being sought by the US government for robbery. The film reaches its tragic climax with Clint's death during a final reshoot. In the end, the money is returned, the Reno brothers are released, and the other 3 Confederates are arrested, and Clint is laid to rest at the family farm. I love Me Tender. I think it's an amazing film, especially for it being Elvis's first. I think we can be so proud of him, learning people's lines, learning his own lines, and just being so brave and coming out without any formal training, but just going for it and really putting the passion and the love into it. I just think it's amazing. Elvis performed 4 songs for the movie, and I think they fit in nicely. Rock and roll in the Civil War, kinda, but we get to see Elvis perform, and I love the performances. Love Me Tender is standout, of course, but you've got some amazing songs. Poor Boy is so good. We're Gonna Move. They're just fantastic, and they add to the film, even though they may not be so appropriate in where they've been put in the film. But yeah, I really recommend you go and watch it if you haven't already. If you have, what do you guys think of Love Me Tender? Give me your thoughts below. And next week we'll have Loving You, so look out for it.